Okay, everyone, welcome back. It's nice to see you. I hope you're having a good week. We are having a good week. Just living his best life here. Living his best life. So, if you're new to the channel, I do most of the talking. My name's Jake. He's here mostly for, everyone likes a dog. It's America, and everyone likes a dog, so that's what he's here for. Bourbon of the day today. So Templeton Ride. This is not a shameless plug, but this was actually given to me by a real estate client of ours, because I like to think that our clients, we have a deeper connection than many agents do to their clients. So that was a nice touch from one of our recent clients. Shout out, John. Thank you for the bourbon. So this nonsense that's in my lap right now, the purpose of today's video, we're going to talk about, I'm going to hit you with an industry term here, FSBO. What is a FSBO? FSBO would be the industry term for sale by owner. We're talking a little bit about that, why, pros and cons. Why is it good? Why is it bad? Why is it potentially problematic for you? And then you can make your decision if it's a good plan for you or not. So everyone, let's get into it. So for sale by owner, typically the only real reason that someone would do for sale by owner as a route to sell their house is because they're cheap, okay? And I'm going to try to keep you guys just with sort of raw, honest opinions on this. So the only real reason to do a FSBO is because you're cheap and you don't want to pay commissions. Now, there's a little bit of a thing with that, which is, okay, well, you just don't see the value that a real estate agent brings to the equation. And I'm going to paint that picture for you just a little bit. But let's go down pros and cons. So the upside, there's only one upside, which is you might get lucky enough to sell your house and not have to pay commissions. Well, how much are commissions going to be? So you guys wouldn't believe the amount of rules that we have to follow inside of the real estate industry. So I'm going to give you what they taught us in real estate school, which is there is no predetermined commissions. It's all negotiable. Okay, cool. I'm just going to tell you that it would be common in many listings. You'll see that the buyer's agent would get paid 3%. And then the listing agent or the seller's agent, the one responsible for selling the home versus bringing a buyer to the home, they would also be getting 3%. So let's just say in this hypothetical world that we live in, that maybe there's a 6% commission there. So $100,000, hey, 6% is a total of $6,000, right? So let's just take a average home price, let's say 300 grand. Cool, so there's $18,000 in total commissions there, which would be 300,000. 6 total percent of that would be $18,000. So your best case scenario, if you do for sale by owner as the route to sell your home, is you might save $18,000. But let's talk about the trade-offs that are going to come with that, because in my opinion, they are pretty significant. So this is going to be the section entitled, Why It's Not a Good Idea. Point number one, you have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea what you're doing. It's a nice thought, everyone. I'm with you, right? Save your money, pinch your pennies. You have no idea how to sell a house. And this is largely an ego problem. You going, well, I know how to do everything. You don't know how to sell a house. That's why they have, well, actually real estate school really doesn't teach you how to sell a house. They just tell you how to not get in legal trouble through the process of buying and selling houses. It's kind of like regular school. They don't teach you anything of actual value. They teach you a bunch of shit you don't need to know about. So you have no idea what you're doing. You don't know how to write and interpret a contract. So, hey, keep in mind, right, if someone's going to buy your house, there's going to need to be a contract involved. And this is going to be a legally binding document. So you, Mr. Seller, who wants to save your $18,000, are you an attorney? Because if you're not an attorney, well, now you're not a real estate agent and you're not an attorney. So you have no idea how to write one of these contracts. So in Utah, for example, our state form, it is a state form. It is a state approved form. This is the form that we use to write contracts. Well, we're the ones that have access to that. You don't have that because you're not a real estate agent, right? That's just kind of how the system works. So you just don't know enough to know how to interpret very sometimes complex legal contracts. And that's not your fault, but it's just not what you do on a day-to-day basis. Another point, you're too emotionally invested in the house to be the one negotiating on behalf of the house. Okay, it happens all the time where, look, we'll have a seller, right, that'll contact us and they go, okay, I want to sell my house. And sometimes it gets tough. Though. They've lived there for a decade with their family, and they got kids' photos all over the place. And we go through and we act like we're interested, and tell me about your kids. And you're kind of like, get that conversation over quickly, and you get too emotionally invested in your house, where to you it's not just a house, like it's your home, right? It's like take a house and make it a home, right? And fill it with significant things, and you get too close to it, and it's very tough to sell things that you're too close to. It happens to all of us. It's human nature, right? You love something, you're gonna have a tough time selling it, right? So that's gonna be another thing working against you. Here's another one. How are you gonna market your house? Okay. And this one gets tough, okay? So what are you gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna put a sign out on the front lawn that says for sale by owner. Cool, let me tell you one thing that's gonna do. That's gonna make all the real estate agents, this is tough, guys. Well, I'm gonna rewind, then we're gonna go forward. So how are you gonna market your house? So look, to just shoot you guys straight, we have a thing called the MLS, right? Multiple listing service. That's where you sell houses. Like that's the official place, right? If me as an agent, I'm going to list someone's house and I'm going to find a buyer for it, that's where I'm going to put it. I, as an agent, am the only one that has access to that. You don't have access to that because you're not a real estate agent. We have to have some advantages, right? There has to be some reason to get your real estate license. Well, access to the MLS is part of it. Now, so that's where we're going to post it. What that's also going to do, at least in Utah, and I'm going to assume pretty much every other place, is it's going to start to automatically populate that to all the other sites, right? The Zillows, the Realtors, the yada, 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 right? The 1,000 different like real estate sites that are out there, which we'll do another video on this sometime. But whenever an agent's like, I'm going to get your house listed on 1,000 sites, kind of, sort of. You're going to list it on one place, and then something called software is going to list it on the other 1,000, right? So always be a little leery when an agent's like, we're going to get listed on 1,000 site. Kind of kind of a little bit of bullshit there, right? They're not wrong, but they're also not shooting you entirely straight on that. So if you, as the for sale by owner, you don't have access to post your house in the MLS, where are you going to post it? Cool, I'm going to put it on Craigslist. Have fun with that, everyone. Put your house on Craigslist. I'm going to put it on Facebook Marketplace. Have fun with that. I put some houses on Facebook Marketplace. Nothing good ever came from it. You're stuck putting it on local sites, like local sites. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, fella? Are you going to put a newspaper ad out there? Because no one gives a shit about newspaper ads anymore. So what are you going to do? All you got access to is local websites. And then your trump card, though, I'm going to put a sign in the front yard. Put that sign in that front yard. That thing's going to say for sale by owner. Me, I'm the owner. Call me. I'll sell my house. I don't need agents to sell my house. Okay, cool. So your marketing plan already sucks. And then here's what's going to happen. You're going to get called by 3 different people based on your marketing plan to sell your house. The first one, and by far the biggest one in terms of the 3 camps of people that are going to call you about your house, is going to be other real estate agents. Guys, I don't work in a real estate office. I do have a brokerage that I work for that we put for compliance sakes in some of the little bottoms of these videos sometimes, but like, look, I don't go to a real estate office. Part of the reason behind that is it's depressing to me, and I'm actually not trying to be rude. It just is. It's sad because I sit around and I listen to a lot of people called real estate agents pound the phones, and one of their strategies is called FSBOs. They sit around and they scour the internet and drive around neighborhoods looking for sale by owner signs. And then kind of here's what's happened. You see a call come through. You're the for sale by owner. You see a call come through and you're like, oh, it's a local number. I better pick it up. It's probably a lead for the house. And it's gonna go something like this. And they're gonna go, hey John, I was interested in your house. I saw it on Craigslist there with all the drug dealers and the hookers, right? And it's like, oh, awesome. You want to buy it? Be like, yeah, how's it going? Is it sold so far? And you can be like, no, it hasn't sold so far. It's still available. And they're going to be like, oh, well, perfect. Well, John, the reason I'm calling you today is I'm actually a local agent, and I think I could actually do a better job for you than you could do for yourself. And that's kind of how the call is going to go. And you are going to get bombarded with these because you're going to have to. Because your phone number, your email address is going to be on these places that you post your house for sale. So your contact information is not secret anymore. It's completely public because you need people to call you. the overwhelming majority of the people calling you is going to be real estate agents. And they're not fun to talk to. I talk to them all the time. They're not going to be fun to talk to, right? They're going to call you and they're just going to bullshit you and then try to list your house. It's going to get old really quick. Trust me on this one, guys. The second camp of people that's going to call you is going to be buyers. These are going to be your real candidates, people that might actually be in a position to buy your house. Now, the problem with it being a buyer, right, versus category 3, a buyer's agent, the problem with it being a buyer is now you have to field them. Well, hey, buyer, so you're interested in the house. Okay, cool. So here's my sales pitch on the house. It's got 5 beds and 3 baths and yada, yada, yada. We just replaced the AC. Cool. So now you're trying to sell your house and you're like, hey, buyer, man, have you guys done a pre-approval? Because you need to be asking them that. Like, hey, do you guys have an agent? Do you have have you been through financing? Or like, well, no, we saw your sign. We thought we were going to call you. And you're like, well, yeah, I can't, you have to have your financing dialed in order to buy the house. So this is now not a fun call again, right? The third camp of people that's going to be calling you is buyer's agents, right? And you're going to have to decide how you want to handle this because look, take me, right? Let's just say I'm a buyer's agent and they saw this place on KSL, which is like a popular, it's like a nice Craigslist out here where you buy and sell stuff and probably some dirty stuff too. But a client of mine, they see this for sale by owner list and they're like, Jake, can you call on this? So I'm going to call you. You want to know what one of the first things I'm going to ask you is, are you guys willing to pay a buyer's commission? Because if they're like, look, a lot of people want to do for sale by owner because they're like, well, I'm going to save that $18,000 in commission. Okay, cool. Well, a lot of the people that are going to want to buy your house, they're still going to have a buyer's agent. So are you going to say, I will not deal with real estate agents? Well, cool. Now you have even further no clue what you're doing on this negotiation because now you don't even have an agent on either side of the equation to write a contract. At least if you say, yes, I'll pay a buyer's commission, first of all, don't cheap them and be like, I'll pay you 1% because they're just going to make a gesture with their hand where 4 of their fingers disappear and then 1 of the fingers is left in a more of a vertical position, right? Because I'm not that cheap, dude. I'm sorry, but I don't work for, I'm not sorry, but I don't work for that cheap, right? So if you're going to pay a buyer's agent commission, a legit one, well, now back to my original point. The only reason to do for sale by owner is to save some cash on commissions. But if you're saying I'll pay a buyer's agent commission, well, you didn't save 18,000. Now you saved hypothetically 9. So you did all this work, fielded all these stupid phone calls, tried to market your house, yada, 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 all to save 1/2 of the commission. Guys, for sale by owner, like, please, you must hear me on this. Good things are worth paying for. Find someone good. I'm not suggesting just hire any random agent. Like, there's a lot of bad real estate agents out there. Find a good one. Ask them for some references if you want. Be like, hey, look, man, I'm not trying to be a dick, but do you mind if I get like the number of a couple of your clients and I can just kind of call them and ask them how the process went? Like, screen them. Someone who's good, they don't mind. I'll give you a couple numbers of clients of mine right now. Call them up, see how it went for them, right? So, guys, I'm pleading with you. Please don't try to do for sale by owner. Like, it is a giant hassle, and statistically, most for sale by owners wind up hiring a real estate agent at some point because they're just like, dude, this is just not worth the pain in the ass. So save yourself the pain in the ass. Just hire a good agent, right? Good things are worth paying for. Remove having to think about contracts, fielding phone calls, scheduling showings, dealing with other agents calling you. Remove yourself from this equation. Have a professional, someone else. I don't care. Have someone good do it. All right, guys, that's the end of the lecture for the day. So if you guys need any help, 1911syndicate.com. That's our business. You can go there, learn about what we do. But pretty, I think we're cool. I think we're a cool real estate business. So you can go there, learn that. And then, hey, if you're enjoying the channel, subscribe. We will have a lot of content coming. I've literally got 6 months worth of video concepts just sitting there waiting to be filmed. So 3 videos a week. We will be here. We will be with you next week, bringing you more hotness. Thanks for tuning in. Pet your dogs tonight. Enjoy a little drink. Make a steak, some potatoes. Have a good night, everyone.